Why don't I know more about my pelvic floor? And why has no one told me these things before? In today's episodes, we're going to dive through why there's such a gap in our healthcare and pelvic floor. And I'm going to share a really personal story that has some trigger warnings. So if you are around children or you are sensitive to abuse and any of that, please take the time that you need. And if you need to skip this episode and come back at a better time or just not at all, I fully support you. You are listening to Belly Birth Beyond with Pelvic Floor Mama, hosted by Becca Boving, a PTA, mom of two, and now your go-to pelvic floor coach. Welcome to the safe space where no topics of motherhood are off limits and judgment is left at the door. Too many mamas are dismissed when they've got valid concerns. If you're sick of hearing that's normal when it feels otherwise, keep listening. But today I'm going to finally, for once in a very long time, share my story and how this correlates to the pelvic floor world, lack of education, how Pelvic Floor Mama came here and got started. And it actually goes back all the way to 2012. January of 2012, I was sexually abused by a physician who disguised his treatment as pelvic floor treatment. And he was able to get away with this for decades and hundreds of girls. I consider myself lucky because I was 17 instead of 7. And if you don't know the scandal I'm talking about, I don't know that you want to look into it, but there's just, it's a story. So back in 2012, I was being treated for back pain since, I don't know, maybe 2008. And truthfully, his cohort, someone that he trained and mentored was who had saved me from not having this abuse more than what had happened and from not happening sooner, because I just saw her all the time. But for whatever reason, I don't remember if she was on maternity leave or if she was out or what happened, but I was in a back brace my junior year of high school. Back issues, don't really know exactly, even to this day, couldn't really tell you exactly what was going on. And senior year, I decided I wasn't going to do the brace. We were just going to get through it. And I wasn't going to try to go to college gymnastics. I was just going to get through and go from there. So I saw this other provider all the time. She helped me. It was great. We were just getting through the season. She wasn't there for whatever reason. So I went to him. This abuse took place. I remember just going, there's just so much to it. And I don't think I'm ready to dive fully into that story. So we'll just leave it at very surface level to there. Never really after that day, and I don't know, a week, 2 weeks, whatever time it was, never really thought of it again, just kind of pushed it aside, never happened, whatever. I was mentored by this provider who sexually abused me. I went into athletic training at Michigan State, and he was one of the reasons why I got into the program. I don't think it was really him, but I did have a letter of recommendation and things like that, not just from him, but from this other doctor who was amazing. I'm going to leave her nameless because I think she's been through enough. And then I even got my first job out of college because he was the team physician at the high school I was working at, and I knew him since I was 8 years old. And I worked with him my senior year of college when I worked with the gymnastics team, and he was the team physician. And I shadowed his wife my senior year of college because I wanted to do PA and she was a PA. And there are just so many ties to this. But how he was able to get away with this, even when people brought this up to law enforcement and to other people. And one, there was a lot of people who dropped the ball. And then two, he disguised this as pelvic floor treatment, and no one knows what the heck pelvic floor is and what it does. It's a lot more known now. There's a lot more people who treat it now. It's a lot more talked about now. But even then, there is this significant gap in our health field of what pelvic floor actually is and how it supports your body and changes with you and the importance of it and what treatment can actually be done for you during pregnancy, birth, postpartum, young children, adults, elder, I hate to say elderly, but like older population, menopausal, past menopausal, 80-year-olds. There's just this huge disconnect. And so often, and it's not necessarily the provider's fault. There is somewhere along the way where we just are not, the education is not there. And so pelvic floor is just known as, oh, just do Kegels. Just do Kegels, right? It'll be fine. Just do your Kegels. But it's not. It's not just do Kegels. It's not just hope for the best. It's not stop your pee in midstream. It's not, that's not what this is. Your pelvic floor is like, it makes you hear me talk about this all the time. It makes up the bottom of your core. It holds your, like, is a hammock for your bladder, bowel, and uterus. It is so important throughout every stage of your life, even before you have children, even if you never have children. And a lot of the symptoms and the pain and the leaking and the discomfort and the frustration that you go through can be fixed and changed and helped with just some pelvic floor support. But there is this significant gap in what this is and how you can be supported that has failed so many women, so many moms. And it can be really frustrating. It's not like your pain's not just a part of pregnancy. Your pain's not just a part of becoming a mom. The pain or the not feeling like yourself, it's not just because you gave birth. There needs to be more help and support. One of the biggest reasons why I created Pelvic Floor Mama, why I started just educating on social media, was because I went into these doctors' offices and I sat down with them and was like, hey, I'm a pelvic floor specialist. I really enjoy working with pregnancy, and these are the things I can do for your patients. And we can see them during pregnancy, and we can help them have better birth experience and help them recover easier. And like, if we get them in like during their pregnancy, it can make all these other things easier, and like less complaints, less problems, all the things down the road. And every single time I would get hit with, they can't see you during pregnancy. There's nothing you can do to help them during pregnancy. It's just a part of pregnancy. It's just the hormones. It's just the baby's positioning. There's nothing you can do. They shouldn't be getting internal assessment at all, ever, during pregnancy. But yeah, how many providers are doing like pap smears and cervical checks and things like that? I'm not saying that pelvic floor has to be an internal assessment. I do it virtually. Clearly, I am not doing internal assessments. There is so much that can be helped in just educated, supported. Like, if you have not felt validated or seen or heard or understood throughout your pregnancy and the pain that you're experiencing, you are not alone. You are not alone. There is this gap that I have been trying to bridge, that so many others like myself are trying to bridge that gap and to provide the support and the help that you need. And so when I kept hitting these walls with providers, I said, I'm done. I'm not going to keep hitting a brick wall. And the providers aren't the ones that I need to educate and help. They're not the ones that are struggling to stand up and walk and roll over and get dressed and pick up their little one and be able to go for a walk with their children or take their dog out or whatever. Like, they're not the ones who are struggling with that every single day. They're not the ones who cough and pee themselves or try to be intimate with their husband and they can't because it's so painful. They're not the ones that are struggling with this. You are. And so this is where I was like, forget it. Moms are the ones who need to know this information. So I'm going to skip over the providers, skip over the insurance companies, and everyone else who wants to dictate how moms can feel during life, and bring it straight to you, because you deserve to feel better. You deserve to feel like a human and like strong, comfortable, confident in your body. And when we don't give you the support and the education and the resources to show you how that can happen, it feels so defeating. And it's like, how the heck am I going to make it X more days or X more weeks throughout this pregnancy? Or how am I going to get through the next few weeks after I have, like, you have a newborn and you're struggling to even move and do things on your own? And it's not right. It's not fair. And it's so frustrating. I don't know what else to do but to continue to educate, continue to share what this truly is and how there is help and support for you. If you are going into clinics, not every clinic is the same. Not every pelvic floor Physical therapist is the same. Not everybody does the same things. Not everybody has the same education. There is no one size fits all. You have to find who works for you and with you. And a lot of times I also feel like moms are constantly being like pushed aside and frustrated because they've tried to go to a clinic. They've tried to get help. They've tried to have support, but that person doesn't necessarily have the same success and the same education about pregnancy and pain and pubic pain specifically. And so they are doing everything that they can to try to get you to feel better, but it's just not working. And you think something's wrong with you and you think, well, I just have to live with this. But there's these little pieces that are just being missed or overlooked that if we just showed you what they were and how to help you support it, you would have so much less pain. And I think that's really hard because you're doing all of the things and you're doing all the right things, but it's just not working. And it's just this bridge and this gap within just healthcare in general. And it doesn't have to be like this. So my long, like drawn out story that I'm not quite ready to dive into like I thought I would be when I pressed record today was it's not just you who doesn't know about your pelvic floor. It's not just you missing out on this information. It's just not there. There's a lot of providers who are very heavily involved and they work with physical pelvic floor specialists or clinicians in the surrounding them, and they're very much wanting to learn and have more knowledge and education to support you. And then there's other providers who they just don't want that, or they have been told that there's throughout their schooling or education or whatever it may be that it's just not part of pregnancy. It's just not what it is. I think women have been just dismissed and pushed aside for so long that there's been a lot of unknowns with pregnancy, and pregnancies like ethically can't really be researched in certain areas and ways that you haven't been able to be given the help or the support. It's just been chopped up as it's just the hormones. I mean, you have like relaxin and you have your baby's positioning and there's all these things. So it just sucks and you just have to deal with it. But it doesn't have to be this way. Like we women are able to get pregnant and carry a baby and give birth. And our bodies were made for this. And in some ways, I'm trying to be very sensitive to the moms who are struggling to conceive or to carry out a successful pregnancy, because I've also been in your shoes and I know how frustrating that can be. And I have so many people around me near and dear that struggle in all of these areas. So it's not just like your body's made for this and it's great, but in a way, your body was made in a way where it is made to support this. And when you're having the pain and the discomfort and all of these things arising with it, it's because there's something going on and that hasn't been addressed. And the solution isn't just have your baby and be good. You're good. After you have your baby, all these problems go away. But really, all these problems just continue to add up. And now you're not sleeping. And you're trying to find a new schedule. And you're trying to feed a baby. And trying to keep this person alive. And you're trying to survive yourself. But you're still having all these pain and the problems that you had before that you can't even address because there's so many other things going on with you right now that you're like responsible for and that you're taking care of. And so it's just a way to like further create this, not failure, but this like burden, this frustration, this, I don't know how to word it. All of these things that are just fall onto you and now you have to figure it out. But you don't have to do that. And you're not alone in this. I created Pelvic Floor Mama to bring education and awareness towards pelvic floor and what it truly is, not what the myths and the misconceptions and the like lies that are told, because we just don't know better. I used to be that person where a pregnant mama would walk into the clinic and I would be like, oh no, don't put her on my schedule. I don't know what to do. I can't work with her. Because I didn't have that education or that understanding of like, how can I make you feel better? Now I like see a pregnant person walking down the street and I want to go up to her and be like, oh my gosh, can I help you? Even if you're feeling great during pregnancy, can I just support you? I just want to be here and I just want you to have the best experience. Like now I'm a weirdo. I would never walk up to a stranger, but I definitely see him and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to help you and support you and like make sure everything's going well and that you feel good. Even if you hate pregnancy, that you feel good in your body, like that you're not having the pain or the peeing, like every mom deserves to have that. But we just don't. There's this huge gap that we need to somehow fill. And And I think it's slowly getting smaller. But there's so much like myth and misconception and noise that surrounds what pelvic floor really is. And sometimes even the lack of success. So like you went and saw somebody and it didn't work. It didn't do anything. So many moms are messaging me like, oh, I already did it. And I saw somebody and it didn't help. It made it worse. And so I'm like, can you just tell me some things you were doing and some things that like you felt like did help or didn't? And they walk me through everything. And I'm like, they did everything they could. They did what they knew, how to help support you, but their education's just a lot different than mine. This is what I would do if I was to help you and to work with you. And then I share that. And it's like, oh, that is a lot different. That does make sense. So it's just being able to, all of us like get together and use our knowledge and education to help support moms. But there's still this gap in the medical field within even providers who just don't understand. Belly band, Tylenol, heat, cold pack, like that doesn't fix the problem that you're having. That doesn't fix your pain. That doesn't stop you from peeing yourself. Like that's a Band-Aid. Even just the exercises and the stretches, like that's just a Band-Aid. We're not actually finding the root cause. We're not teaching you how to support your pelvic floor, what it even is. When people ask me what I do for work or what I do, and I start talking, they're like, what's your pelvic floor? What is that? Or they're just like, oh, I have no idea what you're talking about, but okay. It happens all the time. And you know what? I was like that too. I'm like, well, pelvic floor? Sure, yeah. I don't know what that is. I didn't even know what that was to the point where I was so, I don't want to say brainwashed, but in a way that's how I feel. Because I defended the doctor who sexually abused me. When I heard, oh, it's pelvic floor treatment, I was like, yeah, it is pelvic floor treatment. I don't know if I just wasn't ready to, I'm sure a psychologist could like deep dive into my mind. But I don't think I was ready to admit that this had happened to me, even though I had tried to on so many different occasions and I just couldn't get the words out. But I defended it because I was like, yeah, pelvic floor, that's a thing. I don't know what exactly, but yeah, that's a thing. And it's like internal and things like that. Like, yeah. It's probably one of the things that I'm like most ashamed about. But it's there. Even someone who went through a sexual abuse, knew it was wrong, knew that something wasn't right there, to defending it because I didn't have enough, well, I, again, psychologically, probably didn't want to admit it. And then I also didn't have enough education on what the heck that is. And no one else did either. There's so many times too where I get asked if I can, especially lately, where if I can go into some clinics and talk to pelvic floor, or not pelvic floor, but if I can go in and talk to physical therapists and explain what the pelvic floor is and like things to look for to refer them to somebody who can help them further. Because that education piece is just not there. It's missing, it's lacking. There's something going on where we aren't talking about it. We aren't sharing the right information. That was a very heavy and different episode today, different look on things. But I think it's a side that I don't talk about often that I need to talk about more. In a way that I'm not saying your provider's doing anything wrong or that your provider's terrible or anything like that. The education is just, there's a gap there. And we need to bridge that gap and be able to support moms. It's not just pregnancy. It's not just becoming a mom. You deserve so much better than that. And as someone who's gone through it and I've been pushed aside, it's just pregnancy. Wait another week, a different pain will come up. Like, what? I mean, can't you just help me now? I'm in pain now. Why do we have to wait and see what other pain comes up? Like, or it's too early for you to have pain. Or just wait, pain's going to get so much worse. Like, why do we do this? Pain is not normal. Like, you should not just be pushing through pain. You really should not be pushing through pain. Unless you just went through like a major surgery, like you just had an ACL replaced, or your mom just had her knee replaced or her hip replaced. Yes, that recovery is going to be painful. That recovery is going to be painful. But you shouldn't just be pushing through pain if you are just pregnant. or just regular person off the, like, we are not just pushing through pain. Pain is your body's way of telling you something's wrong or something needs help. And it doesn't mean like something's wrong with your baby. It just means there's like this imbalance in your body and it just needs some support in the right areas. Ugh, I could rampage on this for so long, but I hope you understand that there is just a gap, and it's not just you that doesn't understand so much about pelvic floor or why no one told you this. It's because a lot of people don't know this to be able to tell you. And a lot of people don't understand it well enough to be able to tell you. If someone doesn't understand it themselves, how can they help someone else understand it or educate them or talk to them about it, right? It's like when you're at school and you're like studying for a test, when you teach someone else about it, you're like, oh, I got it. I get it. It makes sense. But if you can't do that, you're not understanding it yet. It's the same thing. So many people want to understand it, but they're not there yet. I am so passionate about women understanding more about their pelvic floor and their bodies and being able to feel strong, comfortable, and confident throughout motherhood. Whether you're pregnant, you just gave birth, you're postpartum, you're years postpartum, and it's summertime. So I created 5-minute Mama Relief Challenge. This is where for 5 minutes a day, for 5 days, you are going to not just learn your pelvic floor and things like that, but you are going to be able to feel relief and comfortable and confident and strong in your body again by learning the basics of the BSR method. If you've heard me talk about the BSR method, this is something I've created to help women feel good in their body. And it starts with the basics of your pelvic floor, supporting your pelvis and restoring strength and stability within your body. And this is something that I am doing just for summertime, right? Like we don't have time for hour-long workouts or hour-long this or that. And sometimes it's not working. Sometimes we don't need more exercises and stretches. We just need to understand how to do this. So this is just 5 minutes where you are going to learn what you can do so you can feel good and comfortable in your body, and you're going to do it. We're going to do it together. And so we kick this off on June 15th. If you're wanting to join this is for pregnant or postpartum moms. Grab your mom bestie, grab your mom best friend, have her join with you, and let's do it all together. A little accountability, a little support, just so we can kick off the summer right and feel really gosh darn good in your body, right? So there's a link down below that you can sign up and save your spot. Send it to your friend, like I said, join us. And I would love to have you. So like I said, I think every woman needs to know more about their pelvic floor and what this is and how it can support you. And I think every single person deserves to feel strong, comfortable, and confident in their body. And motherhood sometimes changes how we feel about ourselves and how our body feels. And this is one simple way that you can be able to feel good and strong in your body again. So that was a heavy episode. I'd love to hear your thoughts after listening to this and some things that, I don't know, that came up. And like have conversations. I could talk about it forever. So on that note, we'll be back probably with a much different topic next week, and I hope you tune in. You can leave your comments below, send me an email, hop in Instagram, DMs. Tell me about your initial thoughts from this episode. I will be talking to you soon. Sending you love. Nothing is TMI when it comes to motherhood, and common doesn't necessarily mean normal. Always trust your gut and never stop advocating for the care you deserve. If you enjoyed this podcast, help it reach more mamas like you by subscribing and leaving a review on your preferred listening platform. Keep in touch with me on Instagram by following Pelvic Floor Mama. See you next time.